Have you ever wondered why the most successful people you know seem to thrive on challenges while everyone else is desperately chasing comfort? Why do they choose the difficult path when easier options exist? Why do they seem energized by obstacles that would crush most people? Here's what they understand that you don't. Happiness is a lie. Not the emotion itself, but the idea that it should be your life's goal. And the moment you realize this, everything changes. You've been conditioned since childhood to believe that avoiding pain and maximizing pleasure is the path to a good life. Scroll through social media and you'll see it everywhere. People showcasing their perfect moments, their comfort, their ease. But notice something else. Notice how empty their eyes look behind those forced smiles. Notice how desperately they're trying to convince themselves that this is enough. Friedrich Nietzsche saw through this illusion over a century ago. He understood that the pursuit of happiness is actually the pursuit of mediocrity. Because when you make happiness your goal, you make comfort your master. And comfort, my friend, is the enemy of greatness. Think about your own life for a moment. When did you grow the most? When you were comfortable and content, or when you were struggling, challenged, forced to become more than you were? The answer is obvious, yet most people spend their entire lives running from this truth. But here's where it gets interesting. Nietzsche didn't just critique the happiness obsession. He offered something far more powerful. He called it the will to power. And no, before your mind goes there, this isn't about dominating others or becoming some ruthless tyrant. That's the shallow interpretation that people use to dismiss what is actually the most liberating philosophy ever conceived. The will to power is about becoming the master of yourself. It's about expanding your capabilities, transcending your limitations, creating your own values instead of inheriting them from others. It's about looking at every obstacle as an opportunity to become stronger, every setback as training for resilience, every challenge as a chance to discover what you're truly capable of. When you shift from seeking happiness to seeking power, real power, internal power, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the architect of your own reality. You stop waiting for the world to give you what you want and start creating it yourself. You stop being shaped by external forces and start shaping them. This is why Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch, not a superior race, but a superior way of being. The person who has transcended the need for external validation, who creates their own meaning, who writes their own moral code. Someone who looks at the inherited beliefs of society and asks, do these serve my growth, or do they keep me small? Because here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Most of what you believe about right and wrong, good and bad, wasn't chosen by you. It was programmed into you by people who themselves never questioned it. You're living someone else's life, following someone else's rules, chasing someone else's definition of success. But what if you stopped? What if you looked at your values, your goals, your entire worldview and asked, is this mine or is this something I inherited? What if you had the courage to create your own path, even if it meant being misunderstood, even if it meant walking alone for a while? This is where Nietzsche's concept of amor fati becomes revolutionary. Love your fate. Not just accept what happens to you, but embrace it. Every failure, every rejection, every moment of suffering, all of it is necessary for your growth. All of it is making you stronger, more capable, more resilient. The person who seeks happiness runs from difficulty. The person who seeks power runs toward it. They understand that strength isn't built in comfort zones. Character isn't forged in easy times. Greatness isn't achieved by those who choose the path of least resistance. So instead of asking, will this make me happy? Start asking, will this make me stronger? Instead of avoiding discomfort, start seeking it out. Take cold showers, not because you have to, but because you choose to. Have difficult conversations, not because you enjoy conflict, but because you refuse to let fear control you. Pursue challenges, not because you're masochistic, but because you understand that growth requires resistance. This isn't about becoming cold or callous. It's about becoming anti-fragile. The kind of person who doesn't just survive chaos, but thrives in it. The kind of person who turns every setback into a comeback, every obstacle into an opportunity, every wound into wisdom. And here's what happens when you make this shift. You stop being manipulated by your emotions. You stop being controlled by other people's opinions. You stop being trapped by circumstances. You become free. Not free from responsibility, but free to choose your response to anything life throws at you. People will notice this change in you. They'll see that you're no longer reactive, no longer desperate for their approval, no longer willing to compromise your values for their comfort. Some will be intimidated, some will be inspired, some will try to pull you back down to their level. But you'll understand something they don't. Their reaction to your growth says nothing about you and everything about them. You'll have compassion for their struggle while refusing to let it limit your potential. You'll be kind without being weak, helpful without being used, present without being available to every demand. This is the path Nietzsche called becoming who you are. Not discovering some predetermined self, but creating yourself through conscious choice, through deliberate action, through the courageous pursuit of your own expansion. It's about writing your own story instead of being a character in someone else's. The happiness seekers will call you crazy. The comfort addicted will call you harsh. The mediocre will call you arrogant. But you'll know something they don't. You'll know that you're finally alive, finally free, finally on the path to greatness. So I ask you now, are you ready to stop being a prisoner of your own comfort? Are you ready to stop seeking happiness and start seeking power? Are you ready to become who you truly are? The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because every day you spend chasing happiness is a day you could have spent becoming great.